tifu by saving a topless woman from drowning. So this happened yesterday. My family, wife, kids, and in-laws, and I had just returned from a pontoon cruise for the evening. It was later than usual, so I sent the wife up on the golf cart with the kids and in-laws to get them some dinner while I covered up the boat. About halfway through covering up the boat, I noticed someone halfway across the cove in the water all on their own, and she appeared to maybe be in distress. She wasn't making progress swimming one way or the other and occasionally going underwater. There were people on the opposite shoreline yelling at her, but I couldn't tell what they were saying. I yell asking if she needs help, and she says yes. I call my wife and tell her to come down on the cart. Someone is in the water and needs help. I'm going in. I might need help getting the person out. I put on a life jacket and grab the throw cushion from the boat. I swim out to the person and pass off the throw cushion. She appears out of breath. First thing she says to me is, "I'm topless." I respond with, "You okay, but are you okay?" I also immediately think to myself, 1. My friends are never going to believe this. 2. What is my wife going to think with a topless woman swimming to shore with me? She then says she's running from her boyfriend. Harlot is messed up. She also asks if it's shallow enough to touch yet. It wasn't going to be. I help her to the dock where my wife meets us. She tells my wife, "I'm sorry, but I don't have a shirt on." Again, my wife just asks if she's okay, and she tells us the boyfriend story again. Sure enough, as she gets out of the water, she is topless, but she is carrying a white shirt that she quickly throws on. She then immediately begins running to shore. At the same time, we notice a pontoon cruising towards our dock yelling at us. At first I think this must be her boyfriend chasing her, and we are in the middle of some domestic dispute. They quickly get closer, and I realize it's two sheriff deputies. Harlot flagged a pontoon down to carry them across the lake. As they are jumping onto the dock, we notice the girl had just jumped into our golf cart and was riding away on it. Apparently she was allegedly involved in a string of burglaries, and the boyfriend she was running away from was the cops. I had unknowingly aided her swim across the lake to escape, and she used our golf cart as getaway. The cops chased her for a while through the night, tracking her down once more, but she escaped again. We looked all day for the golf cart today with no luck. I notified insurance. If the theft around lunch about an hour ago, someone notified us through social media that it was parked behind a house in a neighborhood over. So we recovered the cart, and it seems okay. They put more warrants out for the suspect and are still looking for her. TLDR. Thought I was saving a topless woman in distress, but unknowingly aided a crook in escaping the police. I was heading into a Circle K once and saw this guy struggling toward the door with 230 packs of beer. So I opened the door and held it for him. Turns out he was stealing them. Was he topless too? Now that you mention it. I get the feeling we're all imagining this woman as far more attractive than she objectively may be. Why kill the dream? But why was she topless? Most likely because she wasn't wearing anything to cover her upper body. Once you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. I'd be looking forward to the lineup. Did they look like those? Those? No, officer. None of them. I guess you'll have to round up 6 more women for me. Which part of Florida do you live in? I'll let a lady drown because the whole wife versus another woman's boobs situation equals bad karma. Yeah, no, said no one. Ever. You did the right thing. Obviously the woman has behavioral and psychological issues, and you can almost certainly add $1 per drugs and abuse to the mix. It's how you act to the least of us that determines how lot I really are. Even after all that, I really do think she was at risk of drowning. She was tired. She couldn't tread water forever, and it's a long swim across the cove if you aren't a strong swimmer. Drugs also could been involved, but I don't know for sure. Edit. In other words, thinking back on it now, people can be stupid trying to outrun cops, and trying to swim too long cold resulted in a bad result, even if it's not initially what I thought was going on. It's better to let a guilty person run free than let an innocent person drown. Well, regardless of the outcome, you did the thing most people don't do, which is put on a life vest and bring a PFD for the victim. So many people drown by the victim pulling them down. Good point. We don't know all the details either, but taking the boat out would have been safer for the rescuer than swimming too. and likely faster to reach the victim. This crossed my mind, but boat keys were with my wife. Harlot initially was up with the golf cart at the use, plus untying the boat and backing it out of the dock takes a minute. And yes, Boy Scouts taught me well that the drowning victim can drown the rescuer. I have 3 kids. I don't want to drown even for a topless woman. Man. As someone in insurance, had that golf cart crashed out something, we should all be entertained for the day reading the claim reports in specific detail. When I initially submitted the theft claim, the State Farm guy specially mentioned how much he enjoyed hearing it on a Saturday morning. Luckily now I get to call them and say it's found. You helped a fellow human being survive. That is a great thing. Never feel bad about this. She might be a crook, but you might still have saved a life. There's still something to be said for that. This is the most upper class tifu there ever was. Congratulations Op. Real question is whether one of the cops was the boyfriend. You're joking, but that was a real story a bit ago. An abusive cop charging his GF with bogus crimes after she ran. So she couldn't get away from him. And totally backed up by the other cops, of course. This is just Op casually bragging about having a boat and a golf cart. /JK. Forgot a neighborhood on a lake where they can drive the golf cart to the docks. I have a similar story. I was driving one day and came up to an intersection. A car in front of me wasn't moving, and the people in it were audibly fighting. Suddenly, the woman in the car jumps out, runs to my passenger door and jumps in. Completely naked, yelling drive, drive. He's going to murder me. I backed up a little and pulled into the petrol station on the corner just to get some space between me and the dude. And suddenly there were police cars everywhere surrounding my car and the car this woman had gotten out of. The cops lined us all up and they asked me how late I was and what I had to do with these people, and I said nothing. She just jumped in my car and then I moved it to here. Yeah. And then they let me go after making sure she hadn't stolen anything out of my car. I have no idea what was going on. And naked in a nasty meth hack, throw out the seat cover and disinfect the car kinda way. You didn't used to have to lock your car doors in Australia. Liar. That's one hell of a twist. I was expecting something more like your wife thinking you are cheating. I thought this was going in another direction. XD, mate, you did the right. How could you know that some random drowning person is a criminal? Harlot is being said. You acted on principle, and I hope the next time someone needs your help you won't hesitate. 8. No possible burglary is worth an innocent person's life. TBF, you just didn't know she was a crook. Harlot whoa, old? Question mark. Also glad the miss us isn't assuming anything about the shirtless part. The wet bandit strikes again. But you probably did save her life. If the cops were to come try and get her, she probably would have kept trying to get away until she drowned. When I sat and thought about it all afterwards, I came to the same conclusion. She was definitely already tired and out of breath when I got to her. You likely saved her from drowning and thereby did the right thing. Whether or not she was legitimately a suspect in a crime doesn't detract from the fact that she is a person. Harlot needed help. Hey, look on the bright side. You now know if you see someone drowning, you should interrogate them first before helping them to see if they are a wanted criminal. You learn something new every day. Lake life. I just want to know how she got away on your golf cart? Question mark. Those things are so slow. That's why we have a Polaris. To be fair, she might have been running from the cops for good reason. A topless woman on a boat with two cops seems sus. Clearly she ditched the loot somewhere, so the first place to look is that cove. Find the treasure and the rule is finders keepers, right? Well done Op. You've become an NPC in Grand Theft Auto. Insert your local area. I mean, that's crazy what happened, but saving a life is still saving a life. Kudos. Truth is stranger than fiction. This sounds like a scene straight out of a Guy Ritchie movie. Please click subscribe if you enjoyed this video.